Caitlin Clark defied all the odds when she got drafted into the WNBA. Critics called her reckless, untested, and even too skinny for basketball. She proved them wrong and is now one of the league's most promising superstars. But what is it that makes this former Iowa Hawkeye so good? If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.
This shooting, that was a wild sequence there. Clark the switch on to Dolson, steps back and buries a triple.
When Caitlin Clark was drafted to the WNBA Indiana Fevers, her arrival to the league created a big buzz. She entered the league with high expectations due to her exceptional college career. Basketball fans from all over the world believed that, given her records, she'd take over the league immediately. But the analysts and critics had a different opinion. They believed that her unorthodox deep shooting could have worked in college basketball, but it would have been ineffective against the league's finest defenders. They also questioned whether her aggressive playmaking would lead to results or whether her fast-paced, high-volume style would be effective in professional basketball. Some critics even doubted if Caitlin would survive against the WNBA's top athletes. But here's the thing. Caitlin has a knack for proving others wrong. Instead of crumbling under intense pressure, the future superstar has been working on improving her game and is finding different ways to make an impact on the sport. While critics believed she wouldn't survive, Caitlin is not just surviving, but consistently evolving. Caitlin Clark had already established herself as one of college basketball's most dynamic players before even taking the court in the WNBA. Her tenure at Iowa was not only dominant, it was historic. She became the NCAA's all-time highest scorer, beating off legends who had held the mark for decades. But Clark was more than simply a volume scorer. She revolutionized what was possible with her deep-range shooting, dropping logo threes with Steph Curry-like assurance. When you combine it with her exceptional court vision and accurate passing, she was more than simply a scorer. She was a whole offensive force. Caitlin wasn't all about scoring goals and racking up stats. Instead, she led Iowa to back-to-back NCAA championship games, defeating great colleges along the way. Her ability to dominate the game, generate offense, and drive the pace helped her stand out from the others. But as dominant as she was in college, her draft to the WNBA raised serious concerns. Could her aggressive playmaking stand up to elite-level defensive schemes? Will her signature deep shooting be effective against taller and more athletic defenders? And, most importantly, could she manage the physicality of the WNBA? With all eyes on her, the strain was enormous. But if her college career taught us anything, it's that Caitlin Clark thrives in high-pressure situations.
She's Steph Curry. She's insert great shooter.
There is no doubt that Caitlin entered the WNBA with immense talent. However, like any rookie, she realized that the league is very different from the college matches she had played. The physicality, intensity, and blazing fast speed posed challenges unfamiliar to her. This didn't stop her, as she has been adapting and improving her game according to the WNBA standards. One of the hardest challenges she faced upon entering the WNBA was the increased physicality. Caitlin quickly realized that professional basketball is way more physical than college basketball, as opponent teams won't just defend, they would target her. She would often get bodied on drives, bumped off screens, and was constantly put under relentless pressure in hopes of wearing her down. In the professional world, Caitlin was finding it difficult to create space and score. People believed that all this would slow her down. But Caitlin is determined to prove all of them wrong. She's actively learning to use her footwork more effectively, fight through the physicality, and absorb contact better. In college basketball, Clark had the option to set pace accordingly. She had the option to step back and take an additional second to anticipate movements, study the court, and execute passes. But when she got drafted into the WNBA, this disappeared. Defenders close in considerably more quickly. Passing lanes that existed seconds ago vanish in an instant. This prompted her to make quick decisions. Early in the season, she battled with mistakes, throwing passes that worked in college but resulted in easy steals at the professional level. However, game by game, Clark has been honing her reads, anticipating defensive changes sooner, changing her throwing angles, and utilizing her vision to control opponents rather than reacting to them. In her college matches, Caitlin had a significant advantage over her competitors due to her skill or size, but in the WNBA, it was the opposite. The opposing defenders in the league are taller, stronger, and way more skilled overall than Caitlin. Players like Kalia Copper and Alyssa Thomas wasted no time and pushed her to the limits. Like every other WNBA rookie, she had some bad, rather inefficient early games. During her career, there was a time where she couldn't score. The game would become overwhelming for her, and turnovers would pile up. Caitlin took them as a challenge and improved herself by becoming more selective and strategic with her deep threes, finding her rhythm, and by analyzing when to attack and when to assist. Caitlin Clark still has a long way to go in her WNBA journey, but we know one thing for sure: she's learning and evolving fast. Each obstacle in her WNBA journey is only making her sharper and bringing her closer to proving that she isn't restricted to just college dominance.
Even with contact. Clark, what a pass, hit stride, and Cole lays it in. First lead of the quarter for Indiana.
From her college basketball career, everyone knew that Caitlin was a good passer. But her being this good was unexpected. Her vision is not just superb, but extraordinary. She is already among the top rookies in assists and is demonstrating playmaking skill that puts her one step ahead of defenders. Her ability to pass the ball is altering the way teams would play against her, whether it's no-look dimes in transition, precisely timed lobs, or laser-precise bounce passes through traffic. She has every tool in her arsenal. One of the most amazing aspects of her passing: her speed. In transition, she does more than just push the ball. She anticipates plays. Defenders have little time to react before the ball is in a teammate's hands for an easy bucket. Even in half-court settings, she uses her eyes to deceive opponents and create passing angles that other players would never attempt. This amount of playmaking is uncommon not only for rookies, but for all players. The strongest tool Caitlin Clark has in her arsenal is her deep shooting range, and it's something really special. She can easily fend off defenses by pulling up a three-pointer way beyond the line. This forces the defenders to guard her 30 feet from the basket, which completely disrupts the opponent's defense structure. When defenders are focused on Caitlin, her team members have ample space advantages. This allows for the driving lanes to open up, cutters having more room to operate, and players facing less double teaming. While the three-pointers are a great aspect of her game, her ability to hit these at a high rate and disrupt the opponent defenses makes her inclusion in the team really special. She doesn't simply play with confidence, she thrives in high-pressure situations. Even when she is having difficulty with her shot, she does not hesitate. She'll keep firing, knowing that one big bucket may change the course of a game. We've already seen glimpses of her clutch ability in the WNBA. Caitlin has demonstrated she belongs, whether it's banging down deep threes late in games or facing the league's top defenders fearlessly. That constant self-belief distinguishes excellent athletes from superstars. She doesn't simply desire the ball at crucial moments, she needs it for the team and herself. While many NBA fans believe that Caitlin is just a standstill shooter, this couldn't be further from the truth. One of her most underrated skills is her off-ball movement. During the match, Clark is constantly in motion, makes sharp cuts to reach the basket, relocates to the three-point line, and keeps the opposing defenders busy. Even if she doesn't have the ball, she knows how to manipulate the defense. She'll quickly reposition herself for a wide-open look, and if the situation allows, she would cut to the hoop for an easy bucket. This unique finishing ability of hers makes her even more dangerous. Her combination of movement, energy, and IQ ensure that she always can impact a play. This unique ability of hers to change the game without having the ball makes her really special. Clark isn't just a passer or a shooter, she's an all-around offensive weapon that can change the game at any point. All of these characteristics helped her to earn the 2024 Rookie of the Year title.
David it does. And now Clark comes up with a steal. Clark thought about pulling up from three, will dip inside and lay it in.
In such a short span, Caitlin is forcing the WNBA teams to adapt to her. Defenses are treating and strategizing against her as if she were a superstar and not a novice. Opponents are double-teaming her, forcing her beyond the three-point line and continuously rotating defenders to keep her off balance. This is where the Indiana Fever gains a competitive advantage. While defenders are concentrating so much on Caitlin, her teammates have the opportunity to score. Her presence alone is a game changer. Defenders who would sag off other shooters have no choice but to stay focused on Clark, fearing her long-range shot-making ability. This spacing helps teammates get better looks at open threes, driving lanes, and simple cuts to the basket. Even former role players are seeing more scoring opportunities now that Clark is on the court. Caitlin isn't just helping the Indiana Fever win matches. In such a short career, she has become a must-watch player in WNBA, attracting fans who weren't even interested in the league prior. Whenever she plays, ticket sales go up and fans come in huge numbers to see her in action, an impact that has become known as the Caitlin Clark effect. Simply, her presence on the floor has increased viewership. Data shows that WNBA broadcasts featuring Caitlin Clark show an increase of 2.45 million viewers, which is approximately a 374% increase over the previous year. Fans from different parts of the world are tuning in to see her play. Her popularity has increased merchandise sales of the Indiana Fever. Her ability to create a buzz in WNBA matches is something that the league hasn't seen in years. Caitlin's no longer just a rising star, she has become a movement. Whether it's seasoned basketball analysts recognizing her growing influence, casual fans getting their first taste of the WNBA, or young girls looking up to her, she is reshaping the league's landscape. Even though Caitlin Clark has impressed in her debut season, she is still not a polished product. Like every new player, she has to deal with problems that forced her to adapt and evolve accordingly. Heading into the 2024 WNBA season, Caitlin's defense was her biggest challenge. In her first few matches, opposing defenders didn't hesitate to put her defense to the test. They were consistently looking for mismatches and forcing her into difficult positions. Early on, she struggled against faster, stronger opponents, but she is learning. Her footwork is improving, she's focusing on keeping her stance lower, and she's becoming more proficient at anticipating movements rather than simply responding to them. She may never be a great defender, but she certainly has demonstrated that she won't be a liability to her team. With the 2025 WNBA season a few months away, it won't be long before we see her on the floor again making waves. What do you think? Will Caitlin Clark be an all-star going forward, or is the hype around this 2024 Rookie of the Year going to fade? Let us know in the comments section below. If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. See you next time.